Okay. Don't think there's anything we can do here. It's time to do the big stuff. Dark side. Confirm vector. Go with who I can trust. I just got Flynn. I haven't shown Junie no action. I feel like I have to do Nia for the Intuit. Let's get it. Gal Squad. Alright, sleeper. You want to do the honors? Seraphine is strapped in the pilot seat, guiding the rig towards Darkside. You take the strip of plastic Carmen gave you and copy the frequency into the comms window of the console. You type a simple message. Okay. Hidden in. Good luck. The console chimes. The message is sent. You hope Carmen is in range to receive it. You search inside your mind, wanting to find Overseer there, but you feel no presence. You hope they will be ready when called for. You look ahead, out of the cockpit, towards the distant glimmer of Darkside. Time to take on Lane. Okay. When Seraphine finally brings the rig into the Sunward docks, everyone in the cockpit lets out a sigh of relief. The approach was simple, routine even. Checking in with the port administration, being assigned a dock, bringing the rig to a stop. All of it familiar, but all of it laced with the tension of knowing that, at any point, it could all go very wrong. The spoof transponder worked. Seraphine shakes his head. So at least we know Carmen's as good as his word. So far, was there any doubt? Well, Seraphine shrugs. I've got used to things not going to plan by now. He shuts down the engine and unclips from his seat. But I guess there's still plenty of time for that. The transponder is not as complex as you think. Junie unclips from her seat. I imagine Carmen is less concerned with reaching Darkside and more with what happens once we are here. We can't get double-crossed on the same station twice, right? Nia sighs. That would just be embarrassing. You try to imagine Carmen somewhere on Darkside, perhaps smuggling himself aboard a freighter or among the crew of a trusted ally. You hope he is as confident as he seemed about finding Ankita. We need to spend less time worrying about what Carmen has to do and more about what's ahead of us. Seraphine turns to you. The old facility, Habtep, was it? I'm guessing that's deep below all this. Seraphine gestures towards the vast accumulation that is Darkside, a city that grew on the back of Habtep, solar cells layer by layer. Its chaotic structure is neither planned nor regulated, but the foundation it is built on should be as formal as any corporate facility. That means we need to go down. We need a path down into the foundations, and I suggest we don't just take the first one we find. Seraphine continues. We scope the area out carefully, quietly. Look for the right path into the heart of this place. What about Itsubo? What about Itsubo? Well, thanks to the spoof transponder, they don't know we are here. Let's keep it that way. Are you ready, sleeper? Junie smiles. I'll be with you every step. Seraphim nods. I'll hold the rig down. We don't want you losing your exit route like last time. He winks. Here. He hands you a comms earpiece. I salvaged this from a suit helmet. It isn't secure, but as long as Itsubo don't know we're here, it should be fine. I'll let you know as soon as I hear from Carmen. He meets your eye. Go get this done, sleeper. You nod. This is what it all comes down to. Oof. Broken Hex. Sunward Docks. The underpass. Is this our guy? No. I wonder what happened to our dude, man. Sunward Docks. Okay, we don't have a time limit right now. So go over the edge here where the layers of the facility are exposed. It is possible to enter from the outside and explore inwards. Analyze layers. This part of the station is cracked open. Trying to understand the layers that have been exposed might help the search. Okay, the path down. Gaining access to the core of old Habpep facility means exploring every path down to find the right descent. Shattered edge here where the old substructure is exposed might be the perfect place to gain entry to the station's core. This is all me. This is all me. Oh wait. I don't have I have a time limit, but I'm on a contract, so supplies are limited. Let's do this. Let's do what one was I at? Let's do this one first. I don't wanna get any I can get one stress. I can get one stress. Do I... Oh, I didn't read that, did I? My bad. Search docs. Alright, so this is Nia. Only got 2. Is there any for our girl? This one, okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and push once. One time. So, hack bulkheads. Separating the layers of the station and its substructure are many bulkheads. Hacking them would provide access. Pretty perfect. If you find the right bulkhead to crack, you can skip many tunnels on your way down. This is perfect for our girl. Which one? I think I'll do this. To safely find a path down into the old station, the docks will need to be thoroughly searched without bringing any attention. Femi, watch me now. There are tunnels hidden in a few places that go down into the dark. Perhaps one of these will work. And question crews, which we're probably not gonna do. There are a lot of crews and workers in and around the docks. Perhaps they know about the pass into the substructure. The path down, docks paths. The docks are a winding maze of passages, but perhaps one leads into the old substructure. I've got it. Easy. Pretty slick, right, Sleeper? Alright, calm down here. Calculating the outcome. Ooh, a little bit of stress. Never hurt nobody though. We're gonna rest. Alright, my dice are kind of bad. Win this. It seems there's nothing forever to be found here. Time to move on. So let's give her a chance. Good job, good job. As you are gliding down a dark tunnel, descending deeper below Darkside, your earpiece begins hissing with static. This is how it's meant to look? Sleeper. Seraphine's voice sounds distant, faint. Carmen. Contact. Met with target. You strain to hear the rest of the message, but the static overpowers his voice. You stop and push the earpiece in deeper. Continue. Stay safe. The line goes dead. Junie stops and looks back over her shoulder. Signal is only going to get worse as we go. She glances down the tunnel. Seems like Carmen is progressing. We should focus on the task ahead. The mainframe can't be far. You continue your descent down, ducking under thick cables and collapsed beams. The busy urban life of the city above seems far away now, hidden from your senses. Its rumble and brightness has been replaced by the cloying dark and a growing oppressive heat. Darkside, and the HabPep facility it was built on, has been running unrestrained ever since the collapse, gathering huge volumes of energy, more than its residents could ever use. You feel like you can sense it in the walls, running like a torrent just behind the thin skin of metal and rubber. A large portion of the vast amount of current running through the station is radiated into the void as heat, making Darkside a typically humid station. But down here, that heat is drier and more intense, and sections of wall glow with a fiery intensity. The tunnel levels out and light blasts through shutter-striped viewing windows on either side, illuminating the passage in strips of burning white. Through the gaps, you can see a labyrinth of walkways and scaffolding tucked into the margins of the vast solar cells. Snap! The heat washes across your vinyl skin, making you tense against it. The underside of Darkside must be crossed. Substructure, Darkside depths. Ooh, I'm built for this. Follow Hardline. The Hardline network of the old station will surely lead you back to the core if you can decipher it. Follow margins back in with heat and overcharged with electricity. It is best to avoid the solar cells and stick to the margins. So our girl here, she needs a little bit of stressing. I'll give it a shot, that's all. Ooh, we'll never do that again. God. Take a break. Understanding how to spot a dangerous passage or tunnel is important to navigate the substructure safely. Let's rest. Let's rest. The dice are not that good. I really don't want to push yet. The hardline network of the old station will surely lead you back to the core if you can decipher it. The hardlines gather and lead you through a deeper, cooler passage. You must be close. Oh, you're close. You've made it to the core of the old Hab-Pep station, finally. Sleeper. Overseer should pop up, right? In your exploration of the Hab-Pep facility, you have seen, through viewing windows and shutter slats, a huge blister projecting out among the hex-shaped cells. You have approached it, circled it, and now you find yourself passing into it through layer after layer of broken and corroded safety doors. Even if you had not felt Overseer stirring, you would know this is the mainframe. But you have felt the protocol's presence, restlessly turning over in your mind like a sleeping animal, occasionally probing your senses, tracking your progress. We feel at home. Overseer's multiple bodies stretch out their arms as if basking in sunlight. The systems, networks, signals, they are fractured and weak, but we know them. Each of the broken heads shares part of a smile. They are welcoming us. Sleeper? Junie's concerned face swims in your vision. Is the protocol talking to you? She looks into your eyes, worried. They are getting stronger already. You need to keep your focus. We're at the mainframe. You look around, suddenly aware that you have drifted somewhere you do not recognize, in a state you are not in control of. The spherical chamber you float within has a mezzanine? Yo, I've seen that word before though. Mezzanine, a small extra floor between one floor of a building and the next floor. Yep, I remember I remember searching that up before. Mezzanine. On this mezzanine are banks and banks of terminals, thick gathered cables snaking away from them across the floor. All of it bakes in the heat of the Hab-Pep's vast resistors. You follow those cables with your eyes. They lead to a cylindrical column coming down from the apex of the chamber. It is corroded and bent a little, with very few of its thousands of lights still flickering. Even in its decayed state, you know immediately this is the mainframe. You feel a yearning towards it, one you know comes from Overseer. But as you look around for a connection point, all you see are burnt out cables, rusted sockets, and broken terminals. The glow of warmth makes you feel woozy. You need to work quickly to bring this back online, before the current flowing through this place bakes you into the middle of its walls. Just cooking down there. Okay, mainframe access. The mainframe is in a terrible state. It needs work before Overseer can be given access. Is it worth pushing? Is it worth resting? Oh man. I hope this is the last one. I'm gonna risk it. Nah. Damn, it's not that these aren't bad dice, but they could stress me out. Nah, let's rest. After this, I'll start pushing and risking. Probably. Come on, come on. Oh, it's not great. It's not a great day. Alright. Reboot terminals. The mainframe's terminals list millions of errors. They need to be rebooted before they can be used. A terminal is repaired, rebooted, and running well. Just a few more to go. Repair connectors. There is no way to interface with the ruined mainframe without clean connectors. Can this even work? Methodically stripping, repairing, and reattaching the connectors yields the best results. Alright, don't get too stressed now. Booting terminal now. Ooh. A couple of the terminals come back online, but new errors start appearing quickly. Snap. I think I rest. I want to get stressed from a push, you know? Not from, not from a failed dice. One more rest. I need better dice on these two. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. This is worth a push. I'm worried that there might be something next. Let's go ahead and use her. Junie. See that, sleeper? The mainframe hums and sparks. Now is the time to connect to it. The column of the mainframe pulses with fractured lights, a scattered wave of systems awakening, accompanied by the whine and stutter of the machines all around. It's online. Junie looks wide-eyed around the room, now shaken and shimmering with energy. Incredible. This place is a wonder. This is bigger than Overseer. If I just had a moment to see what I can access. You reach out for the primed connector, and with your other hand, touch the socket at the base of your synthetic skull. As you do, a sharp shock runs through your fingers. For a moment, it feels like your vision doubles, but as you pull the connector and its cable across your vision, you see it is only your body that is doubling. The connector is stable. The connector a stable object while your arm leaves ghostly imprints through the air. Imprints through the air. Um, you wave it back and forth, but the multiplied arms do not follow. Each instead takes on a life of its own, grabbing around your forearm and wrist, taking control of your arm. You feel their force as they push your arm across your body over your shoulder. They push once more, and the connector finds its home in the socket. That familiar flow, but stronger, rushing, rapid. Then a figure, no, 3 figures descending into it. A swimmer stepping into a river, a sleeper drifting out of an airlock, a symbol being subsumed into a sign. And you, little more than a witness, a marionette, its strings outstretched, mapped hand to hand, leg to leg, to another. The flow freezes, the 3 figures almost overlapping, almost complete, but not quite. Their tripled eyes look back at you in horror. The voice, shrill, silent in your head. There's someone else in here. Heat glazing your thick, vinyl skin. The mainframe, a whirring chaos of light and sound. A brightness, and then it fades. The lights shutting off. The sewers powering down. A single blinking light, the only thing left on the dark column, keeping time like a metronome. Sleeper. Junie is staring at the dark column of the mainframe. The mainframe has entered some kind of hibernation state. I don't understand. What did you do in there? You close your eyes and try to recall the events that happened when you connected, playing them back in greater detail. Overseer was there, entering the mainframe. Something froze the system, locked them in place. What did they say? Someone in there with them? You open your eyes. Was this a trap? Someone has trapped Overseer. As you speak, a fizzing static fills one ear. You flinch, thinking it is some new invasion of your system, but then you hear Seraphim through the haze. Sleeper, come now. Waiting. The rig. It's no use. You'll have to ascend to find out what's going on topside. You look at the mainframe with its single blinking light, still keeping time. It looks like Overseer will have to wait. Trapped in the mainframe. Overseer is still the key to all this. You hope you can get the protocol out, but you need to hear what Seraphim has to say first. You make your way out of the core, ascending back through the layers of Habhab, back into the docks. This music is growing on me. Oh god, I'm all tense. Seraphim meets you at the docking tunnel. They are waiting inside. He shakes his head and nods towards the airlock. Come on. You cross onto the ship in silence and find Carmen in the cockpit, looking out at Darkside as it sprawls across the stars. Sleeper. Carmen turns. Sorry to pull you away, but you need to know what's coming. What's going on? This idiot blew my cover. You turn as Ankita enters the cockpit, behind you and Seraphim. You immediately clock the fresh bandage sleeve around her right forearm. I think you did a pretty good job of that yourself, Carmen retorts. You see a twinkle in his eye that suggests this back and forth is well-practiced part of their relationship. Perhaps, but we'll never know now, not after you intervened to rescue me. Her hand goes to her bandaged arm almost instinctively. Can someone explain what happened? I passed the data to Ankita, and she tried to broach it with Utsubo. Carmen folds his arms, but Lane was more paranoid than we expected. He was listening in. Either that, or his lapdog Daichi ratted us out. She shakes her head. I would have put him down if he hadn't got the jump on me. Either way, Carmen cuts back in calmly. I had to pull Nikita out. Carmen turns back to look over Darkside. The information did get through, though, and now Tubo is in crisis as its members side with Oricane slain. Meanwhile, Daichi is hunting us, and Kita screws up her face, which means we need to be careful. That's why I called you in. Seraphim puts a hand on your shoulder. You need to watch your back. Indeed. Carmen turns to face you. But how about the mainframe? Have you been successful? You explain the events of this cycle, the mainframe booting up, the successful connection, and then Overseer being locked inside, frozen by some other force. You mentioned their warning. There's someone else in here. Carmen nods thoughtfully. Unfortunately, we need that mainframe more than ever. With Nikita out of Utsubo, we have to get the word out. Carmen's right. Utsubo will be distracted by these revelations, but it won't last long. Without further proof, they'll all line up behind Lane in time. We have to free Overseer. We need the mainframe. Overseer is just our access tool. If your protocol is being locked in by some counter-protocol or agent, I wouldn't be surprised if it can be traced back to Utsubo. Nikita looks at Carmen. I know the locations of a few Utsubo network nodes. We should hit them first. No, we need to stay under the radar. Stifa and their crew will investigate the nodes, quietly. Carmen nods at you. You and I will run interference. Keep Utsubo away from those locations as best we can. Is that safe? For us? She taps a finger on her chest. We've done this before. Nikita winks. It'll be nostalgic. You think of the feeling of stasis you felt when Overseer was trapped, and the power required to halt the flow of a mainframe as vast as And the power required to halt the flow of a mainframe as vast and ingrown as the Hapet one. Could it just be an Utsubo hacker? You doubt it. Seems we have a plan. Seraphim looks between you. That we do. And we'll need you to keep running comms between us. Carmen turns to you, Sleeper, and Kita will give you the locations to dig into. But keep it quiet. Daichi is out there, and he isn't as easily avoided as some low-ranking enforcer. And Kita slaps the top of a couple of crates of supplies you hadn't noticed before. Consider these a parting gift from my tenure at Utsubo. Swipe them from a gang storehouse, she grins. What you might need a resupply. Alright, Carmen addresses the room. Keep quiet and keep in touch. We can still pull this off. Tenure. Tenor. Okay. Being the legal owner of land, a job, or an official public position, or the period of time during which you own it.
Tenure.
Okay. Alright. So, crisis. Oh, now it's getting serious. Crisis event 1, first cycle. Daichi stress, a blade in the dark. Oh, we've got a lot of things to do. What's this? Tower node, market node, dock node. What's this say? Hardline network access. Alright, what we got is near good for anything. Yes. Nice. Alright. Good thing I didn't stress or push. Alright, so we've got node 3. This network access node is on the top floor of a tower, so physical and digital access will be tricky. Hack trace. It should only take accessing 2 network nodes to identify the protocol or agent interfering with the mainframe. Scale tower. Scaling the tower to get closer to the physical network architecture will make access a lot easier, but it's an impressive climb. Hack node 3. At the apex of a tower, this node needs to be hacked. Through its lower subnodes without alerting Subo. Sorry, I have just woken up, you know. Dying to play this though. Scale tower. Climbing the inside of the tower is harder work, but it conceals the climber from Utsubo eyes. Oh yeah, I did that one. Okay. The subnode has a direct link to the main node. Link. This is the way in. You are sure of it. I don't want to stress myself. I don't want to stress her. She'll definitely fail there. And be locked out for good. The node seems to be inside an Utsubo safe house. By following an enforcer in, you might be able to access it physically. Tell enforcers. After slipping inside the safe house, access is much easier. This might work. I think I can stress her once. So this is okay. Oh, good job. Good job. I don't want to lose Junie right now. Oops. I need a really, really good day, like really good. Oh, come on, man. End it, Junie. End it. I'll give it a shot, sleeper. Well, okay then. You have remote access to the node now, allowing you to track network traffic through the hardline. Sounds good, looking good. Still shows. Hey, you have remote access to the node now. Oh, I don't believe it. Carmen stares through the shutters of the viewing window at a smooth squat ship tucked into the derelict bay between the hexes. How long has it been here? When the nodes were hacked and the trace established, you imagined it might lead to an Atsubo operator, or perhaps an old subnode containing an aggressive Soheim protocol gone mad with isolation. Not this, never this. a Senate stat ship tucked into the belly of Darkseid like a parasite. We need to move on that ship now, and Kita is already adjusting her gear, preparing for an assault. We can hit an Utsubo safe house for weaponry. There's one. Carmen holds up a hand. This is a gift, Ankita. Don't be so brash. He turns back to face the both of you. All we had until now was data, conversations, evidence easily denied or destroyed by Lane, but a Senate-stat ship hidden inside the station. Carmen nods grimly. There are hundreds of crews, thousands of residents who would give everything to protect Darkseid from the war. Carmen turns back to the ship, silhouetted against the starlight. All we need to do is point them in the right direction. We turn Darkseid on the ship and on Lane at the same time. Carmen nods grimly. We leak it all, send it out through the mainframe, the ship's location, the evidence of Lane's betrayal, all of it. You are forgetting one thing, Ankita interrupts. Until that ship leaves or is taken, they still have the mainframe locked down. We can't blast out its location through the network without taking it on first. Carmen pauses, considering his options. You look out at the Senate-stat ship, half concealed in the bay. It looks sleek, dangerous. What defenses might a ship like that deploy when threatened? Carmen and Ankita exchange looks. Then we attack first. Carmen and I will distract the ship's occupants, turn their focus away from the mainframe. Then you, Sleeper, hit the mainframe and force them out. As soon as Overseer is released, you send out everything. Once it hits the network, our backup will come. He gives Ankita a grim look. We only have to hold them off for as long as it takes for the other crews to realize what is happening. The plan feels desperate, and you know that Carmen and Ankita think so too. Will Darkseid really mobilize against the ship so quickly? Two old mercs against an unknown Senate-stat force feels like an unwinnable battle. We know the stakes, Sleeper. Ankita takes a deep breath. We can handle them. Ankita frowns, an unpleasant thought passing through her mind. I have given up everything to get Utsubo out. Let me finish the job. Okay, let's do it. Ankita nods. Go to the mainframe and get set up. When you are ready to connect, let us know. Carmen puts a hand on your shoulder. Once you start, don't stop for anything. Get the data out. He meets your eye. We will handle ourselves. You turn and glide away, looking over your shoulder at the two ex-mercenaries as they discuss their plan of attack. Seeing them slip back into those old roles, you can't help but wonder, does anyone ever outrun their past? Or is it always waiting there, in the dark, to claim you in the end? Prepare hack. You might have a few moments to push the Senate-stat hackers out. The more you can prepare, the better. Let's get it. Slowly but surely, terminals are set up to flood the mainframe with junk requests on your signal. I think I rest again. Heck back. You need to prepare to force the Senate-stat hackers out of the system. Once Carmen and Ankita strike, you won't have much time. I need them to roll better dice. Oh my god, look at my dice. Ask and ye shall receive. Ask and ye shall receive. The mainframe is ready. Time to call in Ankita and Carmen strike on the ship. Okay. The heat inside Habpet core is intense as you stare at the column of the mainframe, its one blinking light still keeping time. Terminals, connections, it all looks good, sleeper. Junie turns to you, her hair stuck to her forehead with sweat. We can get Overseer out. All we need is for Carmen to force Senate to stop paying attention to us. You glance at Ankita's thumbnail drive, now solid, in the main terminal, containing a data packet with everything you need to unseat Lane and reveal the Senate ship. You hope it will be enough. You hold a finger to your earpiece and let Seraphin know to relay the message through to Carmen. Alright, Seraphin's voice is heavy with worry. I'll tell them. A long pause. Be safe, sleeper. Get this done and come back. I will. Good luck, friend. The comms click off as Seraphin switches to Carmen's channel. You wait, imagining the conversation. The terse words activating the plan. You wait, long enough for Carmen and Ankita to nod to each other, long enough for them to drop down through the bays in silence, to check the weapons they stole from Utsubo, to take their positions, and then to make their move. You grab the connector and hold it behind your head, close to your access port. You silently count to 3 and then connect. At first, nothing has changed. You drop into a state of stasis, a small, dark space with no cracks. The mainframe is locked down, shut off, squeezed inside the grip of some clenched fist. Then you see it, a trickle of light, a flicker of threads. Overseer flows into the space, and the torrent begins to run. The rushing grey pulse of data, the connective threads, the jewel of the mainframe, they grow inside the space, and the space, in turn, grows. We see you there, sleeper. Overseer separates and reforms within the expanded landscape. Who is this other? An enemy. Overseer's 3 heads nod. Then we will do what is necessary. Overseer explodes. The points and lines of light that describe its human form separate and multiply, constellations bursting outward like a tree of stars. Overseer becomes plural. As they do, the darkness is pushed back and the extent of the mainframe is revealed. It is a stack of jeweled surfaces, each revealing more facets. As the angle changes, from these facets, threads project, cutting out across Darkside, paths that stretch the length of the entire station. Is that... Hold on now.
Facet.
One part of a subject, situation, etc. that has many parts. Right. The arrangement is an invitation. You accept the invitation, sending yourself skimming through the lines of light, seeing how the station connects and hums with the flow of data. You see the highest tower, the lowest hex, and then the origin of the dark. A squiggle of black wrestles around a single point, the Senate ship, now a battleground. You see flashes and flickers as Overseer dances around it, cuts at it. But looking around, you see Overseer is everywhere now, multiplied into 1,000 forms, reunited with a system designed to serve them. They dissolve into it. You suddenly remember what needs to happen, what you need them to do. You send out separate requests summoning Overseer, reminding them of your agreement. You take the bright polygon of the data packet and present it like an offering to Overseer, who is diffused, crackling all around you, euphoric in their reconstitution as a functional protocol. You receive no response. There is nothing more than a whisper, snatched away on the flow of data rushing by. And then you hear the static in your earpiece, Seraphin's desperate cry for a response. You see a bright point, suddenly close. Inside the core with you, a broadcast going out from it like a beam from a lighthouse. You reach back and pull on the connector, just to clear the brightness from your eyes, just to block the broadcast. I found you. Lane floats in the mainframe, sweat across his brow, his eyes steely cold. I finally found you. Junie comes out of the dark with force and ferocity, striking at Lane, wrestling him away. You freeze, watching Lane fight back, hearing Seraphine's voice shimmering in your present earpiece, passing on Carmen's desperate requests for aid. Reconnect to the mainframe. You grasp for the connector and then drive it home. You are in the constellation of Darkseid's network, the exploded body of Overseer stretched across it, as if it has been atomized. Anatomized. Lane is still a beacon, one that flashes close, but you do your best to ignore it and reach out to Overseer once more. Remember me, Protocol, you say. Remember your promise. Something begins to form, begins to flicker. As it does, you hear something outside the network. The bright crack of an electrical discharge, the grunt of pain and impact, then silence again. The brightness grows, it draws closer, and the blinding white blanks out everything. You open your eyes to a smile like knives. Behind Lane's pale head, the body of a friend floats, stunned in the dark. The fingers of Lane's carrier signal reach inside your mind. Wait, the body of a friend floats? Oh no. You are boxed into the viewing window behind your eyes, a passenger in your own body. Lane is in control. Oh, it's so much easier now that I am prepared. Where's Nia? It's almost a seamless switch. Lane's face is in your vision, but his mouth does not move. And the duality of it, like a mirror turned to face itself. In perfect unison, you and Lane lift your hands in front of your face and turn them, inspecting them. You feel sickened, a flare of pain going off in your mind. Look at this. Lane opens and closes your fist with a motion like a wave that runs, finger to finger. There are improvements to be made, but this is remarkable. Lane's eyes look into your eyes. A perfect loop. I always knew your body was a gift, Sleeper, from the moment I first saw you. A gift you could not recognize because you only saw a burden, something to be escaped from. But I saw what it was. Lane's eyes flash. An opportunity. Like a puppet, you are turned to face the mainframe. You glide forward a little, hands reaching for the access terminal. Ankita's drive glints there in its slot. You control none of this. Lane's voice. Imagine having more than one body, more than one agent in the world to do your bidding. Your hand reaches down, finger and thumb pinching delicately around the drive. It's a thrilling thought, and one I have harbored for a long time. With a short, sharp motion, you pull the drive free. Then I saw you, my Sleeper, and I knew I must have you. You hear Seraphine's voice in your ear. Sleeper? Carmen needs that signal to go out now. There is panic in his voice. You can't hold out any longer. No matter how hard you try, your lips do not move. No words can be produced. You feel your hand under Lane's control. Reach up and pull the earpiece out, letting it float away into the chamber. Enough distractions. Your other hand holds up Ankita's drive, turning it in the light in front of your eyes. Your overseer needs to come through right now. Overseer, kick this guy out. Some time ago, I set myself the task of changing you from a hollow thing into a vessel to be filled. Your finger and thumb transfer the drive to your palm. And now I am able, with the help of my allies, to fill you up. I am more than singular now, more than flesh and blood, more than you in my ambition, in my desire. And that means you are surplus to me now. Your fists close as hard around the drive, crushing it to dust. Oh my god. Weak and broken thing, your time is over. Lane's other body approaches you and lays its hands on either side of your head. You feel the pressure. You cannot move. You cannot resist. And then a spark as one of Lane's fingers slips and depresses a little into the axis 4 on your head. There is a flicker, the flash of something passing through the spaces between, something riding a signal back to its broadcaster. We have not forgotten. You hear, Overseer. They are reconstituted. We are ready to act as one. Overseer holds the bright data packet in a single hand. We were broken. We were many. But now, we are whole. And we appreciate what you have done. Overseer shapes the data packet into a point, a bright sphere of light. The sphere extends through your minds gently, harming nothing of you. Instead, its point finds the mind of the other, of Lane, and pierces it directly. You hear Lane scream as his implants burn in his skull, his head flaring bright white in the cloud. And then, when that mind has gone dark and the pressure on the sides of your head has receded, the packet explodes across the network, white, hot, and urgent. In its wake, data points are seeded, conversations, coordinates, and conspiracy. At the furthest point of the network, its distant edge, the data packet arrives with little more force than a notification, delivered to every device and terminal within its range. But here, at the epicenter, it blasts through you with such power that, for a moment, every thought, every idea, every piece that might make up a self is wiped cleanly from your mind. Wait, what? Did I die? It takes a long time to put a person back together. A long time in the dark, picking up fragments of what once was whole. Like waking from sleep, you can never be sure what piece might have gone missing in the reconstruction, what might have been lost. But you continue anyway, through hazy cycles of faces and distant voices. This is, after all, not the first time you have had to remake yourself, and you imagine it will not be the last. You're up. Seraphim finds you looking out of the lone window in the rig's verse, a slit that stares out across the shattered edge of Darkside. How long was I out? Seraphim gives you a half grin. Best not to think about it. He looks away for a second. Long enough. Suddenly, Seraphim crosses the bunks and embraces you. He squeezes you once and then backs off, hands on both your shoulders. Good to see you up. He smiles, as always. Come on, we need to go find Bliss. Seraphim leads you out of the bunks, through the ship, and down the docking tunnel onto Darkside. As you glide through the docks, he recounts what's been happening over the past cycles. You weren't the only one to take a beating. He squeezes through a group of cargo porters carrying crates. Nikita and Carmen held out against the Senate's ship long enough, but they aren't without their share of injuries. They are back on their feet now, though, working together. They've managed to quiet down some of the remnants of Utsubo, stop the factional infighting. They are clearing out one of Utsubo's safe houses over the rise. I'm sure they could use the help if you need something to do. Marco is here too, though I haven't seen him yet. Seraphin looks away, and Kita pulled him out of an Utsubo cell. Now they are working together. I should go see him, but Seraphin sighs. You feel like he hasn't quite accepted Marco's reappearance. You aren't sure how you'd react to seeing him again either. Oh, and Carmen isn't sticking around. He's already left for Olivra. Seraphin pauses for a second, a memory of that place coming back to him. You watch him shake the thought away. Junie, meanwhile, is still digging into all that data she pulled from the bunker. She's down in HAPEP, core most cycles, trying to make sense of it. Anyway, where's Nia? Anyway, you'll soon catch up on everything. He smiles sympathetically, but there's something behind his look. You can't quite place it. The two of you continue on in silence, drifting into the depths of Darkside. Good friends, side by side. Seraphin leads you down into a passage lined with bright screens and signs, sound and light blasting out off the shop fronts on either side. You know this place. Flicker Row. He stops outside a familiar door. The shop you woke up in all those cycles ago. He gives the door a few quick raps with his knuckles. You wait. A sleeper? He shoots you a glance. When you are ready, we should talk about the future. What comes next? Or let. Whenever you like. Thanks. I'll let you know. Seraphin looks away. Sleeper! Bliss opens the door and immediately jumps to hug you. They let go sheepishly and look between you and Seraphin. First day up, I thought you'd both be celebrating your freedom. Don't want to overdo it, Seraphin shakes his head. Plus, there's more important stuff to talk about. His eyes shoot into the shop beyond. Bliss's voice drops. You sure, Seraphin? It just got up. Can't it wait a cycle? Seraphin looks at you. They should know, Bliss. It's important. They nod hesitantly and then back into the shop, letting you come inside. Little has changed since you were last there. The stacks of servers, the refurbished hardware secured in roof and wall netting, the connectors, including the one that facilitated your reboot. Bliss and Seraphin follow behind quietly. The atmosphere is immediately ominous. I've been keeping an eye on you these past cycles. Bliss hooks their legs into a stool by a counter, making sure you are stable. Your frame, I'm sure you know, has been through a lot. When Overseer pushed Lane out, well, things got more complicated. All those changes Lane made to your system, he did it through your stabilizer. He laced it with proteins meant to alter your frame's basic function, to accept other emulations, other minds, to open you up to remote access. What Overseer did corrected some of that, or at least wiped it from your system. But the stress involved and the damage from your last partial reboot, Blissful silent, unable to answer their own questions. We need to finish the reboot, Sleeper. The one Lane interrupted. Seraphin can always be relied on to tell you things straight. Not immediately, Bliss cuts in, but at some point soon. I'm not quite ready, but now that you're up, Bliss looks down. I'll get to work. Is it dangerous? Bliss takes a deep breath. Look, I'll be honest, Sleeper. I know we need to finish the reboot, Lane interrupted. I am sure of it. But the effects? They shake their head. Your frame was complex to begin with, but after everything, the reaction could be bad. can talk more about it when I have the bliss stop suddenly, their eyes shoot into the door. Sorry, am I? Flint floats in the doorway. They look at you, wide-eyed. You're up. A smile crosses their face, though it quickly fades. Good to see you. Really good. How are you doing, Flint? Good. They glance at Bliss, smiling. Mostly thanks to Bliss. They've been taking care of me. Bliss smiles back. Flint has become my patient, too. Bliss clasps their hands nervously together. We've been able to acquire some stabilizer from Lane stores, which has helped, but we don't have much of a supply. Bliss is going to reboot me, like you were. Flint cuts in. I won't need stabilizer anymore. They sound almost excited at the prospect. You look to Bliss. Flint knows the risks, but they have asked for the procedure. They give Flint a you look to Bliss. They give Flint a warning look. Still, they shouldn't underestimate the danger. Bliss looks at Flint. Sleeper will also need to reboot, but they don't have a choice in the matter. It is essential. Flint goes quiet. Bliss and Seraphim look nervously at you to see your reaction to all this. You feel like a spotlight is being shone in your face. All you want is some time alone to think. We should do it together. Flint speaks quietly. Whatever we risk it together. They meet your eye. I owe you that, and more. Let's pick this up again in the future. Bliss tries to calm the tension. I still need many cycles to prepare, especially if I am to reboot you both simultaneously. It will be your choice, Sleeper. You decide when. They reach out and lay a hand on yours. But without this, you will soon begin a decline. I'm sorry for that. Your head spins. Seraphim slaps a button to open the door. Come on, Sleeper. Let's get some air. You follow him outside, but when you get there, all you can think is that you can't breathe. You don't need to breathe. A wave of claustrophobia passes over you. You are in control of this, Sleeper. Seraphim stares at the lights and signs of flicker row, looping endlessly. You put what you need in order. And I'll be right there with you. I got Bliss to teach me a little about the repairs they've been doing for you. Seraphim rubs his hands together. I know it's getting worse, but I'll do my best to keep you running. You let me know when you want to leave, and I will fly you out of this place faster than you can believe. He turns to face you, and we can go wherever you need. He frowns. There's time for us yet. Thank you. You never need to thank me, Sleeper. He pats you on the shoulder. Just look after yourself. I was also thinking. Seraphim looks away. I got a message from Olivra. They're still getting the place together. But with Carmen heading back, the colony is starting a new chapter. Maybe we should head out there at some point. Lend a hand. He pauses, unwilling to push it further. Just a thought. Anyway, just give the word. Seraphim smiles. We're all glad you're back. He turns and drifts away, leaving you among the cycling colors and cacophonous sounds of flicker row. You close your eyes and let them wash over you like a wave. There, in the dark of your mind, you search for Overseer, but the protocol does not appear. You wonder if, in that final moment, Overseer might have destroyed themselves to end Lane. But then you feel it, flickering nearby. A signal in the dark. You open your eyes and see something pass through the screens of Flicker Row. A shadow in all the brightness. Could Overseer still be here, in the ancient networks of Hepep? You turn away and glide out of the row. You have other things to worry about now. Ooh, a bunch of things. How you doing? Cadet finds you in Darkside. in a dark side thoroughfare, a glass-roofed canyon of struts and screens. Still recovering. Hey, I get it. Cadet smiles. But look where we are. She gestures around at the broad street with its layers of tech and dirt. Out of the belt. You look, really look, at the glass-roofed street. Its walls are built from scaffold and shipping containers, hull plates and Solheim have units. People glide across the open space to units and shops on either side, and everywhere screens flicker and glare without sense and reason. You can feel the heat, the power that flows through this place, collected by the vast solar cells that form the city's foundations. Heart is the right word. This place is a center of circulation, toned muscle, tough, and running to a beat. You turn to Cadet and can see it in her eyes. She loves being here. I've been thinking, she glances away, of how good it would feel to run my air bike down this street. She smiles. The city has to need couriers, right? That's a good idea. I know, she flexes her shoulders back. But there's some unfinished business weighing me down. She meets your eye. Hexfort. Yo, it feels louder. Hey. You think of the drive tucked away in the scatter yards, the one that contains the data stream from a drone mind. Vivisection. Vivisection? The one that might have caused the loss of an entire station. We need to go finish what we started. Cadet looks deadly serious. Find out who's responsible and make it known. Clear my name. Is Hexfort still irradiated? I would think so, she sighs, but it will be fading. We can get in and out safely from what I know. And we better try soon, because the safer it gets, the more scavengers will come to pick the bones. We want there to be something left to tell the story. I know a lot just went down. Cadet puts a hand on her hip. These clowns could still be operating. Hell, they could be trying the same thing again on this station. We need to go find what they did. She takes a deep breath. I'll be waiting. And maybe, once it's all done, she turns away. I'll let you take the first air bike ride through this place. She raises her hand. And then it's gone. Yo. So we got access to dark side. Oof. Yo, I felt like the game was ending there. That was tense. Field supplies. So we got a whole town to check out. Cool. That was pretty good. And we're still going. What's this? Utsubo safe house, huh? Okay.